Hello and welcome back to another video. Today going to be talking a bit about some of the cars spotted in the background of the interview after the recent TDU SC trailer. So recently the trailer went up where they welcomed us to Hong Kong Island, told us where the location was, and we saw some more footage of cars racing. But after that we saw an interview with a couple of the team behind the game in a dealership background talking to us a bit more about the game. But yeah, some cars were spotted in that background, and at the time I said these weren't really confirmed in any way because they weren't shown in-game, they were shown in the dealership. But recently I've been made aware of a similar interview that was shot before Test Drive Unlimited 2 released, and most of the cars from that did end up in the game. So yeah, after the TDUSC trailer this time, cars were shown in a real-life dealership background, much like after the TDU2, one of the TDU2 trailers. So yeah, in the case of TDU2, most of the cars were in the game, and I was wondering if this could be the same for Solar Crown. So in the trailer before TDU2, I'll probably have the footage of both of these interviews running in the background throughout the video, so you guys can see what I mean. But in the TDU2 trailer, or after the in the TDU2 dealership, these cars were spotted. There was an Aston Martin V8 Vantage, which ended up in the game, a Ferrari 612 Scaglietti, and a Ferrari F430. These three all ended up in the game, but there was also a Mercedes that looked like a C-Class or E-Class that never did come to the game. So this isn't fully confirmed, these cars, but it's interesting that the majority of them from that video ended up in the game. So yeah, not 100% guaranteed to get all of them, but we're likely to get most, or at least some of them. So anyway, let's move on to the cars seen in the TDU SC background. So I'm going to start with the ones that were kind of up front and most obvious, and some of the ones I did close-ups of that are very likely, and then I'll look at the sort of more hidden things in the background that are less likely but were spotted, so are still a possibility. So the cars I think we'll likely see from that trailer, you probably know what a lot of these are the Lamborghini Urus as the first one, which is a new SUV, so it seems fairly likely. The McLaren 675 LT Spider, not so new, but not been in a lot, and a lot of people really do like that. A lot of people think that is the best recent McLaren, so that's still very possible. The Aston Martin DB11, which we've already seen in the trailer, so that's pretty much confirmed. Alpine A110, which seems very likely. It's a French car, it's a French studio, and it's a new sports car, so I can't see why that wouldn't be in there. Ferrari 488, again, the model has been seen in the background of a previous video, a model car of it, so that's pretty much confirmed. The Porsche 911 992 generation is a new Porsche, and 911 has previously been seen in the license agreement. I'm not 100% sure which model it was, but it looks to be a Carrera S, possibly, the one in the interview, so I think that's quite likely. Porsche Carrera GT, again, it's a very iconic Porsche, and Carrera has been seen in the licenses. It's an older car, but previously, when the previous test drive games came out, both of them, this car would have been around for both, but obviously back in those days, EA had an exclusive deal with Porsche, I think, so that's why it was never able to be included, so this is a good chance for them to include that. So those are the ones I think are very likely out of the cars spotted. They're kind of the more obvious ones. There's a couple more that I would like to talk about that I wouldn't necessarily expect to be in the game. So the first, the sort of most obvious one of these is the Ferrari California, because that was in the front line and was kind of zoomed in on. But yeah, I wasn't really sure whether to count this as likely or not likely. Like I say, it's prominent in the interview, but it's an older model. So either I think this will be replaced with the Portofino, or they might keep the California, because it was quite an important part of TDU2, being the sort of chauffeur. You're the chauffeur driving that car at the beginning, so, or you're the valet for it, and then you end up driving to the beginning of the championship. So that is the first car you drive in TDU2, so they might just include it as a sort of throwback to that game. So yeah, I'm not sure on that one. That could be interesting. The next one is a Bentley Continental. I'm not sure if you spotted it. It was quite far in the background. But it's an older Continental. It's not a new one. So I think if they were going to include one, it would be the new model, not the old one. Maybe this is the only one they had in stock, so they sort of had that instead of a newer one. We have seen a Bentley Key in the previous trailer, so potentially we will see a Continental, but I don't think it'll be the model that was shown in this trailer, so I don't really know about that one. And then there's a sort of classic car in the background that we think is possibly a low drag E-Type, but again, it's not very clear, and no other classics, like classics have been shown. We've seen a Diablo, but nothing older than that. So out of everything spotted in this interview, I think that's quite an unlikely one. So yeah, quite a lot of cars spotted in the background, and some quite interesting ones. So I think the Urus 675 LT, DB11, A110, 488, 911, and Carrera GT are fairly likely. They're cars I would like to see included. The others less so, but it would be great to see as many of these added as possible. So yeah, like I said, the TDU2 trailer, a lot of the cars were included, but the Mercedes, for example, wasn't. So these are in no way confirmed, but I think the ones that I mentioned that are likely, I think are quite likely to be in the game, and I'd be surprised if at least some of them weren't, especially some of the really prominent ones like the Urus and the DB11 and the A110 maybe, and things like, well, some of them are already confirmed, DB11, 488, things like that, so yeah, hopefully we will see at least some of these in Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. But yeah, as always when I do these videos, I look forward to hearing more information about the game as and when it comes out. They said in this interview they'll keep us updated until it comes out. I think it's... We had an exact date, but it's still about a year away. So after Horizon 5 will have been out for a while. But anyway, look forward to hearing more about that, and I hope you guys have enjoyed a slightly different style video again. Do let me know, because there's some more information videos I can put together in a similar style to this one. But yeah, that is going to be all for today's video. Do let me know if you think these cars are likely or which ones you'd like to see in the game. But yeah, that is going to be all for today's video. So thank you very much for watching, and I will be back with the next video very soon.